All right, welcome to a lunchtime video. We're going to be setting up Ospf version 3 on the lab, which I think we actually already finished up. So we're just going to be doing authentication and looking at the traffic and everything, and then closing out this topic. So I'll share my screen and pull up my lab. Oops, lab's having difficulties. Looks like it's frozen, but I will stop it and restart it. Oops, still frozen. Ah, there it is. So, okay, I'll just see if I can, yep, so it's, we can close the program. It's all on a remote server, so I'm not gonna lose any information. It's just my client version was messing up for some reason. Okay, so yep, now that I restarted the client version, everything's good to go. So let's go on router 4 and let's do a show Ospf neighbors. Oops, but we're gonna need to do a restart, so let's do that. Yeah, I got the cron job to work before. I'd like to put some more time into figuring out how I did that again. But it really doesn't take that long to just restart it. Maybe like 5 minutes. Let's see here, it's 12:20 now, so let's see when I can get back into the devices. And let's take a look at the information on my machine again to make sure I'm not going to have that same issue. So, oops, looks like I got a lot more used storage space now, but I've got much higher capacity since I added that extra 500 meg. I'm above a terabyte, so I'm only at 9%. Yeah, memory I'm using quite a bit of, but I've got 2 pretty large labs set up. Oops, it's vulnerable to these issues. I'm not sure what that is. Yep, and I've got it in evaluation mode, so I don't know what that is either. Hopefully that won't be too disruptive when that evaluation mode expires. But here's the data store 2. That I added before. I only had 830. All right, so looks like I can reach the lab now. Yep, and it's going through, so it's only been 2 minutes so far. That's really not that bad. I'm already at the final part where I'll get the CLI pretty soon. Okay, so we're at 3 minutes, predicted 5 minutes. All right, so unblocking device, that's the final step. So I'm at 5 minutes. Okay, we're at 6 minutes. So while I'm waiting, I'm kind of looking into getting that cron job to work. But we're back up. So yep, it took only 6 minutes, probably more like 5 since I started it at the probably tail end of the minute. But I think 6 minutes is a good number. It is accurate to say how long it takes. If I can get that cron job up and running, I won't need to worry about this. All right, so let's continue on with the video. I'll set up the cron tab later. That's going to be really important to get up, but this video, I'm hoping I can finish this topic by the end of the lunch hour. Oh, so last video, what we did is set up all of the IPv6 addresses, but we didn't set up the routing protocol. Yep. All right, so let's do that. We'll start on router 4. Edit protocols Ospf 3, area 0. Yep, so it's just as easy as Ospf 2. You just get extra features. So using Ospf 3 is definitely the way to go. All right, so let's commit and quit. All right, so hopefully we've got neighborship to router 4 now. Perfect. All right, so on to router 2. Okay, so we've got one more router, and we won't need to be adding these extra links because they don't have IPv6 addresses on them. Something I could have done, but it's just not necessary. I don't want to get this topic done pretty fast. All right, commit and quit. So if I do a show route table, inet 6.0 protocol OSPF. So yep, now you can see I've got the 2 OSPF routes that I will not have in. I actually should have 3. I should have, because you can see I'm not going to have any of the direct connected routes, but I'm going to have these here. So I'm missing a route, which is interesting. Let's T-shoot that. So first step, let's figure out what route that is. So it's going to be on router 3, and it's going to be the link to router 2. Okay, so it's going to be the directly connected routes configured on GE002 on router 3. Okay, so it's the :4 network. Oh, and this is interesting because we are learning the :4 network. Okay, so it's not this one. It's going to be one of these 2 that are not being learned. So let's look at router 3 again, and let's look at the network going to router 4. So it's GE001. Okay, and it's the :6 network. So, okay, that makes sense. We've got the :5, but we don't got the :6. So let's figure out what's going on there. So let's jump over to router 4 and take a look at the interface going to router 3. So everything looks good here. We've got :6. So let's take a look at the configuration for OSPF v3. Okay, everything looks okay. So yeah, I guess I'm just surprised that I can't. Okay. Oh, it says it's directly connected. Okay, so I think what's going on is there's some misconfiguration on router 1 because I don't think this is meant to be :6. So let's take a look at the interface configuration on router 1. Aha, yep, so we've got an extra IP on this interface on router 1, so let's get rid of that. And I bet you that other link in the topology will now go into the routing table because this was a directly connected subnet, so it's going to override it. So it was probably already learning it from Ospf. Let's see if we can do a run show Ospf 3 and then something like route. Yeah, so we should be able to see okay. Yeah, I think this is actually a good, like if I shut down the link between router 3 and router 4, I think this will disappear. So let's try that. So yeah, this is going to be GE001 on router 3. I'll just shut it down on this side. I don't think I'll need to do it to both sides. Okay, so now I believe this will go away from the table here. Let's do a pipe no more. And then a pipe refresh. Okay, so we can see it's still there. And it says that it's intra-network. So I mean that makes sense. Like it's I think it's still going to be in there even if it's a directly connected route. Yeah, because it's a directly connected route, it's still going to be in there. So just for completeness, let's shut down the other side because there could be some issue with the virtualization. Just to make sure that there's no kind of funny business. Nope, so looks like it's still in there. And of course, we've got them for .1, .2 other routes that are directly connected. So yeah, I think this is just going to have them for directly connected. Let's look at the database. Okay, now let's look at the interface. All right, then overview. All right, and statistics. All right, so I think what's interesting to look at is the route, the Ospf v3 routing table, but we can see that we've only got one of these, and it's metric 1, so that's interesting. That's not really what I expected. I expected there to be 2 entries for that, or just I expected there to be 1 entry, but that entry to disappear when I shut down this link. That's more what I expected than there being 2 entries in there. But I definitely did not expect there to be only 1 entry as there is now. All right, so let's come back to this after we commit the changes we've got queued up here. Oops, and it looks like we've got a overly specific delete statement on there. There we go. So we'll commit that, and then we'll come back to that OSPF route table. Okay, so now this is, yeah, so it's learning it via metric 2, and then it's learning it over both of these links. Yep, it's going to have a cost equal path. So it's going to have cost equal paths for that. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, I feel pretty comfortable with that. Okay, so yeah, I think it's time to move on to, well, let's check the routing table first. Okay, and before we were missing this :6, so I'll go up to where I printed it out up here. Yep, so this is an older version. So we had .6, but it was a directly connected route, not an OSPF route. But now we've got it as an OSPF route with a cost equal path, just like how it was appearing in the OSPF table. But this is the routing table, INET 6.0. This table here is a different table. It's the OSPF route table, specific to OSPF. Okay, so I think we're good to go to work on authentication. So let's set it up between router 3 and router 4. And we'll set up some trace options on router 3. So edit protocols OSPF 3. Okay. Oh, PF. Okay, so set trace options. And then it's going to be flag, and we're going to just go with flag all unless there's something specific to authentication. Nope, I don't see anything, so let's just do all. Okay, so now let's do set trace options, file, tshoot, OSPF 3. Okay, so let's monitor that file now. There might be too much chatter on there, but we will see. Okay, so we are getting quite a bit of chatter. But here we're getting hellos from router 4. So they're absorbed, whatever that means. Let's filter out our messages just to look at those, and we'll see if they change when I set up authentication on router 4, but not on router 3. Okay, so we'll start it again, but we'll do pipe match 172.16.0.4. Okay, and we should be getting these hello packets absorbed messages popping up at any moment. I guess they were, yep, there we go. So let's see how this changes when I set up authentication on one side but not the other. Okay, and I have forgotten which address goes to router 3, but I can just do run show in descriptions, type match R3. Okay, so it's edit interfaces 0. I don't see anything about authentication. So let's do up. Now let's do set. Okay, I still don't see anything about authentication. Let's do up again. Still nothing about authentication. So let's do a help apropos and try to figure it out with the resources that we'll have available to us during the exam. Oops, and I've got V3 on there. That's not what it's called in Juniper. It's called just 3. Okay, so we've got help topic Ospf V3, Ospf 3. Okay, but we've got to be more specific than that. Aha, authentication, perfect. So we've got a full document here to help us configure Ospf authentication for version 3. Only 3 steps are needed to configure authentication on a BFD session. Okay, so this is configuring BFD authentication parameters. 1, specify the BFD authentication algorithm for the Ospf v2 protocol. So this neither has anything to do with Ospf. Well, I mean, it has something to do with Ospf, but this is neither for Ospf 3 authentication, nor is it for Ospf 3 at all. It's for Ospf version 2. This is, yeah, it looks like it's just a mislabeled authentication tied to the wrong keywords, which is really unfortunate. But I think it's good to know that now. All right, let's see if there's another thing I can do. Okay, so this is for Ospf version 2. Let's just go back into the hierarchy. Okay, so I don't see anything for authentication on here, unfortunately. So okay, so it looks like we've got IPsec. Now, if I remember correctly, that is the way you configure authentication on Ospf version 3. You have to use a extra thing, and that is IPsec. You cannot use authentication directly as a part of the protocol as you could in version 2. They're just different versions that require different things. But I've never gone through the rigmarole of that before. So, let's do it. So we're going to say Juniper OSPF 3 authentication. So here's the OSPF user guide. Aha, so understanding OSPF v3 authentication. OSPF v3 does not have a built-in authentication method and relies on the IP security, Ipsec suite to provide this functionality. So I was right. I knew that from the CCNP, but unfortunately, CCNP really only required you to know that, that it does not have a built-in authentication method, which I knew, but it doesn't require you to actually be able to set it up, but the IE does. So let's read this whole thing, and then we can follow along with the with the documentation here. So I'll include this in my notes for my videos. This might need to go into another video, unfortunately. Kind of have been lagging. Getting over well, hopefully this weekend I'll be able to make up some time, I think. So let's see here. So yep, now we're in the middle of doing that. But let's take down the links that I'm going to need. Okay, so then we're going to need this one. All right, and then we'll need this one as well. Okay, and then here's the tags that we'll need. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't really have time in this video to get through this, so I'm going to need to go into an 8th video for this topic. But in that 8th video, we'll be able to hopefully finish this up. For now, I've only got a few extra minutes. Let's just try to figure out either if we can kind of figure it out ourselves. So we'll call it test. So let's see what happens with a commit check when it's just, yep, so this is going to be a good kind of first for into figuring out how this must be configured. Okay, so we've got a let's do edit system security, or let's do edit security IPsec policy. Let's define a policy, and it's going to be test, the one that we're adding. So now we know that it's we know that the association must be a certain way. So not sure, don't see anything there. Let's look under proposals. Okay, so it looks like we've got transport mode and we've got manual SA. Let's just try transport. Do a commit check on that. Oh, so that wasn't correct. Reference proposal is not defined. Okay, so let's do a help apropos for the keyword IPsec. Oops, so we don't have anything. Let's roll this back and then let's just do it the way I'm used to doing it. Oh, with ending with a C. Ah, perfect. So it's going to be IPsec-SA because that's what it was calling for under Ospf version 3. You can see, where was that? It was, well, we can go back into that. So edit protocols, Ospf, area, oh, Ospf 3, area 0, interface 0, set, yep, IPsec-SA. So let's get help on that. Ah, here we go. So we've got it for Ospf 3 specifically. Configuring authentication for Ospf v3. Ospf version 3, Ospf v3 provides a method for protecting and securing the Ospf traffic through the router. Ospf v3 uses the IP authentication header, AH, and the IP encapsulating security payload, ESP, to communicate routing information. The ESP with null encryption to provide authentication to the Ospf v3 protocol headers only, or use it to do that. Use AH. So okay, so we've got two different kinds of authentication we can do. We can authenticate Ospf v3 protocol headers only, or we can provide authentication to the Ospf protocol headers, just like we could before, but we've got extra options, kind of like a firewall filter, ACL, where you've got a standard and an extended. So when you apply it to the authentication header, you get extra options that you don't get if you just apply it to the encapsulating security payload. Those options are portions of the IPv6 header and portions of the extension headers. Use ESP with non-null encryption for full confidentiality. Okay, but you don't get those extra options with ESP. Ospf v3 authentication uses static keyed IP security protocol, IPsec. Security associations, SAs, similar to BGP IPsec. The tunnel mode SAs and dynamic IPsec SAs using Internet Key Exchange, IKE. Authentication are not supported. Dynamic keyed IPsec SAs run on the routing engine and do not require a services PIC. To apply authentication, include the IPsec-SA statement for a specific Ospf v3 interface. Yep, so this is what I did. So unfortunately, this is not going to be enough to figure out how to do this because I need to figure out how to configure the actual IPsec-SA that is being called in here. This is just configuring how to call in the policy, but not to configure it. So stay tuned for the next video where I dive into that.